Give thanks and praise for life, you know, Selassie is alive. Yeah man, the land of the priests.
Green Castle Hill, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean.
2018 Winter Solstice Experience. Join us in Sun City, Antigua from Tuesday the 18th to Monday the 24th day of December. Come and bask in the mystic of the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Come and experience sun, sea, sand, and megalith. Spend 7 days and nights in the heart of the Caribbean. Visit our national heritage sites, meet and greet our people, sample the local fruits and produce, plus the beach, banquets, lectures, yoga, and of course, Green Castle Hill. Green Castle Hill, Mount Anu.
Save our national treasure.
Life giver and the keeper of life, Kadamawe Haile Selassie I. Give thanks for your presence and a wonderful morning, wonderful uprising, wonderful beginning of a day. As we say, a blessed day, Salamta. The Tiger's Nest, Honorable Priest Isaac with you. What a joy and, happiness, of course. As I said, a blessed morning and a blessed day, and this day, I just want to quickly answer a question that has been asked on more than one occasion, exactly as it relates to Haile Selassie I and Rastafari, in the sense of Haile Selassie I being of the Orthodox Christian faith, and of course, Rastafari himself. What I'm saying, Honorable Prince, give the princess that phone for me and tell her to answer it. Pardon me. Haile Selassie being of the Orthodox faith, the Orthodox Christian faith, and the living Emperor Haile Selassie I, not being Rastafari. Of course, it's I guess a sensible question, for sure, if you are well in tune with our works and what we do, and if you understand the situation as it relates to what you would call it, the documentary that we did, is Haile Selassie a Mason, and even the expression that we also did directly dealing with why does Haile Selassie, why he doesn't have locks. That's another question that was asked. Why doesn't Haile Selassie have locks? So I'm saying that we did an episode on the YouTube entitled Why Doesn't Haile Selassie Have Locks, something of the sort. And within that, I think we went deeper than just why he doesn't quote unquote have locks from the pictures that we've seen. It's much deeper than that. And if you really put that together with the understanding of the video lecture that we did, which is Haile Selassie a Mason, when you can balance these two things here and put them together, even what we're going to speak of now quickly, we're really going to speak of it quickly, it's clear with understanding as the earth goes through. But anyway, before we touch that, I just want to say that I have a petition out already right now, online petition. I'm going to put the link right in the description below so that you can go to this petition and sign in support of preserving Green Castle Hill. Now it's at the petitionsite.com, and slash Green Castle Hill, the destruction of Green Castle Hill, Antigua. But as I said, I'm just going to put the link in the description, so you don't have to fumble and fiddle. You just go in the description and you press the link, and it will take you straight to the petition site, and you'll have all the information there. You know about Green Castle Hill. You know, that's one way you could support. For those who always ask, how could we support and how could we help? Well, a simple thing like your signature, your electronic signature as such, you will just put it in there, and you'll get all the information. As I said, we're looking for 10,000 supporters, 10,000 signatures, and we're going to present that to the relevant authorities and let them see and understand that we do have people internationally that support the cause of preserving this megalithic site, instead of trying to destroy it when it's very unique in its status. And we know by now that it's not no mistake why it's being destroyed, because it is so unique. This is why, for whatever reason outside of that, it is being demolished. So we're thankful for all those who have paid such an interest, and those who will be looking at the petition and be signing the petition. I really hope everyone could do that. I really would appreciate that. Just check it out, at least check it out. Go on the site, check it out, see what you think, and then we'll just take it from there, And I'm very thankful to Brother Rick Rasrick, who really was the one that moved forward with this strength to establish the petition and to have it running. So we're thankful to that good Brother Rasrick for such a love, and such vibration that he put forward. So that's how it is, with unity and love and righteousness we work. And now, one other favor that I must say that I will be asking you for, and that is in relation to the ad that you saw at the beginning of this program. That very short ad, I don't think it's a minute. I don't think the ad is a minute long. No, I don't think the ad is a minute long. It's the latest ad that we have produced for the Green Castle Hill hike, the tour, the winter solstice hike and tour from the 18th to the 24th day of December. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm speaking of. It was the ad at the beginning of the program. What I want you to do, I'm going to put the description for that ad as well, or the link for that ad as well, the YouTube link for the ad in the description. What I would like you to do is to share that ad for me. So whether it's on your Facebook page, even if it's on your YouTube site, it is only about a minute long. It's definitely nothing that will take up too much of your space, even of your time. A short ad highlighting the hike that we are doing, highlighting the cause that we are definitely, fighting for as it relates to the preservation of Green Castle Hill, Mount Anu. I'm just asking you, my listeners, watchers, subscribers, well-wishers, whoever you may be, I'm just inviting you or asking you to assist me in getting that word out from whatever platform you may have, especially in the realms of social media. Don't mind how small you think it is. It's all right. Trust me. Just send it out, and you could even, pardon me, ask the people that you're sending it out to even share it as well. So I'll be very thankful for that. The description, check the description, and the link is in the description for the ad, as well as I said, the petition as it relates to Green Castle Hill. So I'll be thankful for that, especially getting the ad out. I'll be very, very thankful. Good. Now, like just about a week and a half ago, we had some brothers from Trinidad, from the Orthodox faith, visiting us, and this is the Ethiopian Orthodox priest. I hope you can see it good. This is the Ethiopian Orthodox priest, the resident priest here in Antigua. There's an Ethiopian Orthodox Church here in Antigua. This is their annual calendar. You can see here. This is their annual calendar. And I think every year I've received one of these calendars every year for a while now, maybe the last 7-8 years, you know. So they have the Ethiopian, you see the Ethiopian month in relation to the Gregorian calendar month, and the days aligned and whatever. And you have some pictures, some wonderful pictures in here as well of the different branches. This is in Trinidad, it looks like. And then you have in Jamaica, St. Martin, Antigua. You know, this is clergy retreat. They're showing you what's going on with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in the Caribbean, just in case you don't know. So they're definitely strong. I know in Trinidad, Barbados. I've visited them in both places. This is another situation in Trinidad. Okay, so basically that's it. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, let me be clear. And this is the calendar for 2011. You will say, oh, that's an old calendar now. No, Ethiopian 2011. Yeah, 2018 to 2019 AD, according to the Gregorian calendar. You see me? So, of that faith was Kadamawe Haile Selassie I of the Ethiopian Orthodox faith, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And many ones would ask if this individual is your leader, if he is the divine one, the chosen one, the golden child, if he is the returned Messiah, the Messiah, God and Almighty God, and other things, and your prophet, and if he is your Melchizedek, why is it that he is a member, as much as we know of him, he is a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and you as a Rastafari are not directly connected, at least the vast majority of you are not directly connected with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. In fact, is Haile Selassie a Rastafari? By the way, why is he not what you are, since you are following him? Why is he? I don't see Haile Selassie with the Nyabingi tabernacle and fire inside, and the drumming the drums and singing the things, or the Bobo Shanti or the 12 tribe. I don't see Haile Selassie. You know, he may respect these things. We see he come and give high respect to the Rastas in Jamaica in 1966. But respect is one thing, but he, Haile Selassie I, you know, Haile Selassie is known for building mosques for the Islamic community in Ethiopia. Can you imagine that? Haile Selassie. But yet still, when Lee Jiatsu now, who is his cousin, in the early days, decided that he was going to take on the Islamic role, it was at that time that even Haile Selassie rose up against Lee Jiatsu to remove him, and he made a specific statement referring to Lee Jiatsu's father, who is Ras Michael, or Michael, saying that there are those even amongst us who should have turned against Lee Jiatsu, but decided to side with him. And that is Ras Michael, because that, or Michael, or Michael, that is the father of Lee Jiatsu, who is the individual that was said to be the one that was chosen by Menelik II to be his successor. You know, And it is even situations like that. Some people have a gripe against Negus Nagas Kadamawe Haile Selassie because Lijiatsu was the one that was chosen by Menelik. And it was because of that choice that the great Menelik II made. There was this humility, especially even with Rastafari, which is Haile Selassie I, who became Rastafari. So there was that humility, meaning that he would not really fight against it. Lijiatsu himself began to live a sort of life that was not in alignment with the monarchy that he was establishing. Bear in mind, he was never officially crowned. His emperorship is tricky when you really follow it through history. Yes, you may label him as one of the emperors, fair enough, but he wasn't really officially crowned, you know. People date Haile Selassie being the emperor from the 2nd of November 1930, but from the time Emperor Zaditu died in April, he was already the emperor. But the official coronation says a lot. But I'm just saying that Lijiatsu, although not officially coronated, and it was really the council, the clergy, the church council that moved against him. He was living a life far removed from what is expected of him, and taking on different wives. And as I said, he was adopting the Islamic custom and trying to change the throne to an Islamic throne. And His Majesty, even in his statements, made it clear that even his own father, which is Ras Michael, should have turned against his son because of the betrayal. That is how deep that's his understanding of taking the throne of the monarchs of our forefathers from the Christian seat and putting it on the Islamic seat. That your own people supposed to turn against you, to bring you down, to cut your head off, because it was life and death he was talking about. So I'm saying this is the same man that built mosques for the Islamic people, even after that, and would attend their feasts, and they would host feasts and have, so what's it, you see? So there's this tolerance and understanding and even a respect for different traditions, and all of us should operate like that. Have that respect. It doesn't mean that you're falling off. You just have the respect and you tolerate and even appreciate other customs. But when it comes to the throne now, the seat of power, the throne you had, the seat of power, where everything rests, you got to have the truth. You don't want to exchange it for half of the truth. So according to the vision of the emperor, Lijiatsu needs to be taken out, basically, for that move alone. Good. So the church, I'm speaking of the Orthodox Church, within Ethiopia you still have the different outlooks of it. You talk about the Batawi, the Laks brothers that live far in the mountains. Ethiopia have many different monasteries. Ethiopia has so many monks, individuals living away, totally away from what is considered as so-called civilization, living in caves and living in churches that have been carved out of rocks, not just Lalibela. They have other places in Ethiopia, many other places where you have churches carved out of rocks. Lalibela just stands out, as a real marvelous expression. But it's there in many other places. You see the churches carved out of rocks and people that are living there. Places, Deborah, Damos, and these places where you have to climb a rope, hundreds of feet, if not hundreds, well, 100 plus feet going up into the ear at least, to enter into this monastery amongst the monks. And in this monastery now, you only have male people, and only male. And why I said male is because even down to the animals. So if they have cats, there is only male cats. If you have to bring up some sheep for them to slaughter, it gotta be a male sheep, and only men are allowed up there. So you could understand the seriousness of that. So the ancient Ethiopian tradition, the Orthodox Church tradition, is one that is considered to be the most ancient of the Christian traditions. So this is why I don't know how us as black people, we would want to denounce this when it is obvious that this precedes modern day European Christianity. And not only precedes it, you can see it's obvious that there is a high level of anciency in it. Now, I am of the opinion that as well, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, has been infiltrated. You could just see some of the portraits that are being expressed. There's this video with Achro Crazy where he put some of the priests in Lalabella and fireman. Achro Crazy get red on them because of all the painting of Jesus that they had up in the church. Not the white Jesus, you know. Jesus. And some real freaky looking Jesuses too, man. Some blue eye, green eye. They look more Romanized than the Sistine Chapel. And I'm not exaggerating, and you have seen, some of you have gone for yourself and seen in the monasteries or pardon me, in the churches as such, especially even in Lalabella, where you see all of these Caucasian figures representing the Messiah, when from the old paintings and pictures of Ethiopia, which some of us have in some ancient books, we don't see nothing at all, even close to that. Nothing at all. We and that fluffy hair and all of that, nothing at all. It's either afros or locks. So obviously there has been infiltration. Remember, even in the time of Gondar and Philadelphia, the Emperor of Ethiopia, who had to run out the Jesuits who were coming in trying to mix up and throw some milk in the coffee, and he said, we ain't working with no brown in here, and he run them out. So it is history. It is historically known that the infiltration, as far as the religious part of it, was attempted, and I think has succeeded in certain aspects. It doesn't take away the anciency of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church for sure, but something ain't fully right. Because as I said, our ancient portraits were of I, and now a lot of the modern portraits are of the enemy. How is that so? How is that so? So still, we gotta celebrate that we are the originators of the so-called Christian faith. We are the founders of it, because the Christ that they're speaking of is an Ebonite, a black man. The Iasos, the so-called Jesus there, the Isa, the Yeshua, is an African man. And I've always said this, you know, because people always say, well, no, Jesus exists, and complicate the argument. Word sound. Then tell you why no Jesus exists, because there was no J. I mean, I use that shot sometimes, but you gotta have this in context, brother. Okay, fair enough. So what about Yeshua now? Does he exist? Then some will say, well, yeah, he exists. Some say, no, he doesn't exist neither. None of them exist. So the J argument, I mean, you gotta use the stuff in context, man. That's what I'm saying. But obviously, when you understand just the movements of the cosmics, I tell you, don't get lost in the religious aspect, man. The Christ figure is always here, the crystallized one. He's always here, and she's always here, as you heard us speak of when we did the not the Aquarius Age episode. What did we do that on? The water carrier. The water carrier. Remember, in the water carrier now we explained. Well, the water carrier is not on YouTube. That's another thing. The water carrier is one of the episodes we did on the shock of the hour. But the water carrier now was basically a part 2 of Haile Selassie being Cephas or Kephas, the constellation. Most of you have seen that on the YouTube, where we show you that in the Aquarius symbol of every age, not the Aquarius age, because in every age, each constellation is still played out. So the Aquarius type comes as male in one age and female in the other age, male in one age and female in the other age, the Aquarius figure. And we proved that when we did the episode Water Carrier. Maybe one of these days we'll put it up on the YouTube. So that power now, I'm just showing you that 2,000 years ago, obviously it's just natural, and 2,000 years before that, there was a Moses, and 2,000 years before that there was somebody else, and 2,000 years before that, because obviously it's moving with the cycle of the age, and every age demands its figure. So the age will bring a special sun cycle being. It's only natural. It only makes sense. So the Christ that we refer to as Christ, the Messiah, which is the name that has stuck on this individual 2,000 years ago, a mystery being to many. Don't know where he really born and who he is, and let's just believe in him and leave it at that. And what his name was, that's one of the most mysterious persons in history, the Christ. Yeah, just ball everything up into one, the Jesus character. One of the most, mysterious. Nobody can really explain properly. Everyone have a different angle and outlook and this and that and this and that. And that's why there's so many different pictures of the same being. So Haile Selassie now, to the question at hand, is a follower. You'd hear the king speak of why he follows Jesus Christus. And I have the highest respect for the Bible and the name that it bears. All of these are direct quotes from Haile Selassie I. Now the individual that you call the Jesus Christ, 2,000 years ago. Now Jesus Christ, was Jesus Christ a Christian? Was Jesus Christ, was he of the literal Orthodox faith, or any Christian faith, as a matter of fact, that we know today? Wasn't he brought up in the customs of what you would call the Jewish tradition, what the world would call Judaism then? Although in the same way as what the world would call Christianity is not the real true order of Christ, what the world calls Judaism today and the little Hanukkah and all of that stuff that happens is not really the ancient tradition of who we call the Hebrews or the ancient Israelites. Not at all. But the point is that the Christ figure, the Messiah, the Yeshua, from what we supposed to accept as history, was of the tradition of the Jewish tradition, or the Judaism then, if just to use the term. That is what he was following, the ancient Israelite tradition then. He wasn't a Christian then. That's the point. He was following the ancient Israelite tradition. Now some may say, yeah, but he had a lot of problems with that. So you don't think Haile Selassie had a lot of problems with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? It may look simple to you, you know. It looks simple to you. But when Abune Kerrilos became the Abune during the reign of Haile Selassie I, that was an extremely big move. And this was just like the second leg in a whole movement that the emperor was on when he was transferring the power of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church back to Ethiopia. Remember the archbishops, the abunas were always sent from Egypt. So the Coptic Church would send up to Ethiopia the abuna. And it is Haile Selassie I that came and stopped that. And said, no man, we're not into that, man. We're going to grow our abunas right from Ethiopia. So even a tradition like that, which is kept up in Ethiopia, comes directly from the King of Kings, Negus and Nagas, and obviously he had some sort of disagreement with what the traditional ones were saying, because people fought against him for that, you know, his own, like, hey, no man, we are accustomed to get it from Egypt, and we want it to stay like that. And then brother say, yeah, just wait till I get the full power. And even before he was emperor, he began the moves. The moves were already being made, and the 9 bishops, and yeah, so many different things were taking place in the church, the Orthodox Church, that many of us may not even be aware of. So it's the same way that the Jesus Christus, the Jesus Christ, although he was in the temple with them, and he would always attend Mass and the feasts, I should say, not Mass, kind of Mass, the feast and Sabbath and all of that. The scripture make it look like Christ is something, not the scripture really, but the way it is being taught to us make it look as if Christ was some sort of chief Sabbath breaker. You know what I mean? One little sound bite of him picking some corn one day and healing a few people. And how you think he was healing the people? He went to where the people were. And they would gather at the holy places, the holy pools, the holy chapel, hoping to get a touch by the angel coming down to enter the chapel on a special day. So he was around the service. He was in the temple. He was around the church, taking charge. That's all. And he was of the tradition. That's why he was there. He was brought up in that. That's all. He was baptized in that, if you want to call it that. That's all. And I don't just mean the baptism of John the Baptist now, because that's to show you that's like the coronation. But I'm showing you when I say the baptism of he was baptized. Baptism or baptized may not be the term as such, but you know when he was a child, he was carried to the temple and he was blessed. At least according to one gospel, and the other gospel said they ran to Egypt, but we already covered that, didn't we? Yeah. So I'm just showing you, so he's a part of that tradition, at least according to one part of the gospel. He is a part of that Hebrew tradition. He grew up in it. He saw it. He may have been against the sacrifice, but then again, he was still a part of that tradition. And he wasn't a Christian. All right. So even if he established the Christianity as we know it today, any which one of them you want to choose, we, from history, we are not expected to believe that he was a Christian himself, if thanks to the sun coming over the horizon. So it's the same thing with Haile Selassie I. Haile Selassie I was brought into that tradition. You know, people, I mean, you just have to understand, you know, when the age is changing, you have a changing of the gods. So we're coming into a new time, as Brother Dr. Charles Finch will say. So if Christ is going to bring you into a new age, he's going to bring you into a new tradition, which is not really a new tradition, it's an old tradition, but we are advancing and we are stepping up. So that is why when you examine the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition, when you examine it good, even when you watch documentaries, you hear them say that, and this is an ancient tradition, following the beliefs of Christ, but holding on to a lot of Judaism. So what they're trying to say is that the Ethiopian Orthodox Church Obviously, the Orthodox tradition of Ethiopia is much connected to the Old Testament. That's what stands out about it from Christianity and Christendom. It is rooted in the Old Testament. It has this Old Testament hold on to it, you know, which only makes sense. Then the Ark of the Covenant tradition, still with the Maskell tradition. Of course, you have the you know, all these ancient feasts of the tabernacles and the fasting periods, and a lot of the tenets of the Old Testament is kept in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church of today. And now, why is that? So if the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is the truth, what that shows you now is that it is carrying on. It is a continuation of the ancient Israelite tradition before it. Now we're dealing with the history. I know many of you out there, you're saying, man, that's not the real history. That's what they teach us. So I'm just going with contemporary understanding. The Ethiopian Orthodox Abune says, this is what the Abune says, man, that the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is 3,000 years old, not 2, 3,000 years old. Please get my point. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church is 3,000 years old. 2,000 of that is Christianity as we know it, and 1,000 which preceded that was Judaism. That's what the Abuna of today says. So the Ethiopian Orthodox Church was 1,000 years Judaism according to him, and 2,000 years Christianity according to him. So that is why officially it's not really 2,000 years old. It is actually 3,000 years old. That's quite interesting, and that is what I'm trying to show you, that it's not merging, it is a continuation of. That is why you see the Christ now would come in his time. As you said, he was a part of that ancient Israelite tradition, and after him a tradition developed that continued. It wasn't really a breakaway, it was a continuation of the ancient Israelite tradition with the concept of the Messiah now, the Christ, behind of it, added to it. Good. So Kadamawe Haile Selassie I now comes and sits upon the throne. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, he is the head of the church. He is the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And that's why certain chess moves were made. And you could say tighten certain aspects of the church. All right, give thanks to that. But in the same way now, when you ask if he was not Rastafari, first of all, he is Rastafari. That's his name, Rastafari. That's why when the scriptures say his children shall be called by his name, that's very direct to Rastafari, because in all other religions, you don't really hear nobody who has a group and the group's name is the name of the person that they adhere to. So, for example, Muslims, you don't hear them they may be called Mohammedites or certain things like that. And a Christian, of course, the name comes from Christ, but they're not Christ, they're Christians. They're not Jesus Christ, they're Christians. We are Rastafari. That's why I tell people, man, we're not Rastafarians. And this is not Rastafarianism and all of that. We are Rastafari. Bam! And that's exactly what we are. So he was the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, of the Christian faith. But now history and prophecy already shows of this great Negus, King of Kings, that shall come and fit himself into history, and what shall be fulfilled because of his presence. And I'm speaking of Haile Selassie I. From the birth of Haile Selassie I, the coronation, the Ethiopian-Italian war, and all that proceeded after that, and the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, and of course the movements of Ethiopia as it relates to the United Nations, even the visit of Haile Selassie I to Jamaica, even the visit of Haile Selassie I to Jamaica, which really, to those who have eyes to see, showed the genuine connection that Haile Selassie had to those who were exalting his name, which is Rastafari. You gotta understand, there were 31 heads of state that got 31 gold medals from Haile Selassie I. When I say heads of state, heads of Rastafari, that got 31 gold medals from Haile Selassie I. Do you know what a gold medal is? A gold medal, man. Not silver nor bronze, gold, as if you win already, you don't win out. 31 gold medals. The king didn't bring no gift for nobody else in Jamaica. At least from my understanding, watch the documentary. We don't see nobody else getting no gifts. It's the Rastafari Haile Selassie I bring gifts for. What got into his heart that he would feel that he need to give the Rastafari, not just something he understand that there are different factions of them. At that time you had about 31, and he said, hey, bring them all out. Bring them all out. And let me give all of them a medal to show them they done win the race. So I speak as a member of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I speak as a Bobo Shanti. And of course you know that I have taken the time to express why it is that I would have chosen such a tradition within my growth, and why it is I have stuck to such within my livity, and why I can connect the Honorable King Emanuelle Charles Edwards directly in the spiritual realms to Haile Selassie I, Marcus Garvey, Mighty 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. I'm going to try to break it down right now, at least. But this is why we consider that whole science of one Melchizedek shall come and meet the other Melchizedek who shall be living in the hills for 7 years. That's the Melchizedek scripture. The time, this 13th age as it's called, wherein 2 Melchizedek shall come. 2. That's again in the mysteries of the Melchizedek. Y. Lewis, Yoshi Y. Lewis, the mysteries of Melchizedek. In fact, I saw a lecture that he was given on the YouTube one evening. I say, hey, it was basically amongst the same thing that he has in his book. So that one Melchizedek shall come and meet the other Melchizedek. That's really what's going on. In the west, the king from the east in the west, where he shall be living in the hills for 7 years. We already unraveled that in 7, from 58 to 65, and of course the following year. So that is why we as Boba Shanti, we clearly see King Emanuelle Charles Edwards as the Melchizedek that comes to establish the priesthood, that livity of the same Haile Selassie I, that livity of the Most High, for he is the high priest of the Most High. And the Most High, as Psalms 87 says, the highest himself shall establish Ethiopia. So the individual that came to establish her, which is Ethiopia, where he was born, that's Psalms 87. This person is referred to by the Psalms as the highest himself. Wow. That's Kadamawe Haile Selassie I. So it's another changing of the gods. That's my point. Enough respect to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, you know. But if the Ethiopian Orthodox Church ain't praising Haile Selassie, well, something's wrong. It's in stuck mode, straight up, no disrespect. So there is a continuation again, and that is why, you know, even amongst the priesthood order of King Emanuelle, sometimes people will tell you that they go to Ethiopia and they see the priests them performing their rites, and they say, boy, it just remind me of when I went Bobo Hill. Yeah, boy, when I see the man them coming down in the white, I say, boy, remind me of a Sabbath I keep at Bobo Hill. Man, even the singing and how they chant, it sound like how the Baba them chant certain of the psalm chants. And from our understanding, Prince Emanuelle didn't go to Ethiopia to study none of them things here. But yet still it is very similar in the outlook. This is what I'm saying. The Ethiopian Orthodox Bishop Abune said that the church is 3,000 years old. 1,000 was Judaism and the next 2,000 was Christianity. So that is why you see, even as I said, even when you read any books or watch any documentaries, it speaks about this connection that the Ethiopian Orthodox Church seemed to have with the ancient Israelite, Hebrew Israelite tradition. You know, it's one and the same. It just has an extra push to it in the name of the Jesus Christus. So that is why when you look at the order now coming down of the Bobo Shanti, you could see that there's something similar. Some kind of, you know, look-alike thing, you know, something not too far from, very close to the ancient order. Some of these big hat that the bishops have on, no disrespect, make it look like if there's locks under them. There ain't no locks, they just kind of stuff with whatever. I ain't disrespecting the brothers, you know. But if you notice, as when the higher their ranks, you get these big hats and big looking thing. You swear it's stuffed with locks. This is the real tradition here, straight up, you know. So I know ones will say, you know, Bob Marley was baptized an Orthodox Christian before he went down, and I know a lot of Rasses, a lot of Rasses do go and get baptized in the Orthodox Church. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm not the soul keeper. I don't keep people's soul really. I'm just telling you I know what people do. That's not something I would do at all. Because as I said, the higher tradition is here. It is Rastafari. It is the continuation thereof. It is the same Orthodox tradition. It is the same ancient Israelite tradition. It's the same thing, you know, but it's just a continuation of. We're not stuck in neutral. We're not stuck in the mud. We are moving at a steady pace, you know, and the time will come when other things will be added, whether you like it or not. That's the problem. Even all now, so things may be added, but then the people that were keeping the old guard, because they don't know about that and they never hear about this and they're not into that, they give it a struggle and they give it a fight. But the time is moving on, you know. The time is moving on. We have to start to look into things on another level. You know, even as Bongo Ras Mike said, some people may be totally disagree with him, but well, the things I do disagree with Bongo Ras Mike with. I can't say totally. What about some of us when we chant and we sing in praises? Some of these hymn books and some of these hymns, we gotta write our own hymns. Even King Emanuelle tell us that we gotta write our own hymns. But then when you write your hymns, some people who say, no, you can't. We're accustomed to sing this hymn at this time. Yeah, it's a nice hymn too. But we gotta write our own hymn book. That is why when Jared writes now, or Yared, those of you who do Ethiopian history, you know who's Yared. He's the writer of the hymns. And he's around, and when he come and he really catch himself, he gonna fight hard to write them hymns. He gonna write hymn books for you, and we have some real Nyabingi hymns now, you know, some real Nyabingi choruses now, you know, and forget about some of them, you know what I mean, some of them, even if you change so-called Jesus to Negus, it still sound away to me. Yeah, and away in a manger and all them song there. What we do singing them thing there? One to us. Just careful what hymn you pull when you go on the altar then, man. Away in the manger. Sometimes I screw it, man. Away in the manger. Yeah, so do give thanks, you know, it's a time, it's a moving on time. That's what it is. It's from one generation, one time, one age to the other age. So that Jesus Christ came in an age where he was of that ancient Hebrew Israelite tradition, what they would call Judaism, what the Abuna said, Ethiopia, you know, is 3,000 years Christianity, but 1,000 years was Judaism. That's what the Jesus Christ was. And from what he brought forward and the new teachings he established in that tradition came the ancient Orthodox Christianity, or the Orthodox Church tradition, which obviously had elements of the same Hebrew Israelite Judaism tradition, because it really is a continuation of it. And it's the same way now again, as I said, Rastafari, as we hold ourselves, as Rastafari himself was the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and he showed his connection clearly with Rastafari in 66. He clearly showed that connection, and even prior to that, and so and made some direct prophetic connections where we have established the concept of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, Rastafari now being the order, and you can see the connection with that as well with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. That is why it is so they're so similar in certain ways that even the eyes can pick it up at a glance, you know. So we're very thankful for that understanding, and we continue to move on as the age is moving on, and we're not in stuck mode, you know. So don't get caught up with the simple little things. Why is Haile Selassie, why you don't have locks and you have locks? Well, it's a simple thing, but it's a deep thing, and it's a good question. Don't get me wrong. It's a real good question, because there's a real good answer for it. And that is why we've done an episode. If you haven't seen that, you could go and check that too. Why doesn't Haile Selassie have locks? That will inform you quite well. In fact, also the Freemason one. I love that video. I watch it all the time, even though it was me that is establishing those words out, you know. So you could definitely check it. So as I said, make sure that you even sign the petition. That is very, very important. The petition of give thanks, my brother, for that. Just blessing up. Okay, my Lord. Okay, my Lord. Okay, definitely. That's it. But not today, just blessing me up with some avocado, you know. So, what's her name? Janine has the song Avocado. So, as I said, make sure. Okay, that's the eye. Okay. Make sure, wow. Okay, so we're in charge for the moment around here. So I'm just saying, make sure you sign the petition. A lot of you wondering exactly what's taking place there, who I'm talking to. Make sure you sign the petition. Remember, it's the petition site, thepetitionsite.com. Destruction, Green Castle Hill, Antigua. But as I said, I'm going to put the link in the description. So all you have to do is go into the description and you press the link and you get the petition. And as I said, the ad specifically for the hike, the ad, that's a short ad, you know, it's the same ad you saw at the beginning of the video. It's a very short ad. All you have to do is to take that ad for me and share it on your link, share it on your Facebook page, share it on your YouTube page as well. Whatever you have to do to share it, do that for your brother. It's a favor that I'm asking you. We're friends, aren't we? Yeah, we're friends, you know. I may not know you, you may not know me, but I think you know me enough. I would like that favor from you. All you have to do is just to go into the description again. The link will be there for the ad, Green Castle Hill ad, and you would take that and as I said, share it to your YouTube page or share it to your Facebook, and let all your friends, your subscribers and your contacts, you know, get a look at it, and I'll be very appreciative for that. Thank you very, very much, you know. So give thanks. Life giver and a keeper of life, and I hope you understand even. You could follow along with the question that is asked, with the answer that was received. Because you see, people accuse Minister Farrakhan of teaching things that Elijah Muhammad never taught. Now listen, don't get me wrong, you know. I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam. I do have respect for the Nation of Islam, but I'm not a member, so I can't talk about what I'm not of to a certain degree. I may have an understanding of it and I've studied it, but no, I'm definitely not it. There was this, I was watching the show for Lord Jamar, where he was dealing with an individual who was saying that Fahad Muhammad was born in India. He was the first I've ever heard that, I'm telling you. And he was saying that a lot of what Fahad Muhammad was teaching was more linked to Buddhism than Islamic vibration. So he was saying that basically he was saying that what Elijah Muhammad brought forward was not really what Fahad Muhammad was teaching, as if Elijah Muhammad added to what Fahad Muhammad was teaching, according to what this fellow was saying. You can find it right here on YouTube. Lord Jamar, his new program, I can't even remember the name of the program. Godcast. Instead of podcast, Godcast, Lord Jamar. You Google that, you gotta find it somewhere. And Fahad Muhammad, Buddhism, Islam, anything you type like that, it should come up. And it was an interesting talk, an interesting bill, an interesting speak. Yeah. And he was saying that Fahad Muhammad is not the Fahad Muhammad that we have been taught about. He wasn't born in Mecca. He was born in Pakistan, which is India. That is what he was stressing. He was teaching more of a Buddhism sort of mentality, Buddhism sort of tradition, not Islam. He never mentioned, in his lessons, he never mentioned Allah once, never mentioned Muhammad once. I said, okay, it's a quite interesting speech. And Elijah Muhammad and maybe others too really just took what he was saying and added to it. So many people say the same thing about Minister Farrakhan. He's taking what Elijah Muhammad said and he's adding to it. That's basically the same thing. So yeah, as we move on. So give thanks, for your presence with us. It was a wonderful morning, Bill. The sun is coming up now. I'm sure you could hear all the movements, all the birds. Give thanks for all the birds around, the blackbirds, the turtle dove. What else we have around here? The little swallows and all of these birds. You still have the egrets flying, digging out the grass, and a few dogs. So give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Love to the family. Rastafari live. Holy Emanuelle I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love, give thanks.
Give thanks and praise for life, Selassie I is alive. Yeah man, the land of the priest.
Greencastle Hill, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean.
2018 Winter Solstice Experience. Join us in Sun City, Antigua, from Tuesday the 18th to Monday the 24th day of December. Come and bask in the mystic of the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Come and experience sun, sea, sand, and megalith. Spend 7 days and nights in the heart of the Caribbean. Visit our national heritage sites. Meet and greet our people. Sample the local fruits and produce. Plus the beach, banquets, lectures, yoga, and of course, Greencastle Hill. Greencastle Hill, Mount Anna.
Save our national treasure.
Subscribe to the Mystic Vibrations Shock of the Hour program today and never miss another episode. The Shock of the Hour is a Radio Anu exclusive program produced every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By now, I am sure that you are aware that all our programs are packed with information, inspiration, mystic vibrations, as well as hot button topics. Every evening we enter into a different dimension, even if it is a part 2 of the previous program, whether it's history or mystery, biology or philosophy, domestic affairs or the locks of your hair. The mystic vibration is sure to bring something new and interesting to the table every evening. So never miss another episode again. Subscribe to the Shock of the Hour now. And don't forget your key Swahili word of the day and your daily scientific fact. So, to subscribe, give us an email, priestisaac27@gmail.com.
or call or WhatsApp us today. Area code 1268-728-3162. The shock of the hour. Never miss another program. And a special note to all our new subscribers. All our new subscribers will receive a special copy of the DVD documentary, full length, The Night of the Black Tiger, The Divinity of Marcus Messiah God.